Okay, here we are with a little bit of a longer video today. This is basically just a mashup of all of last week. So the first week post-competition, I didn't have much of a plan for this week, and I didn't do a ton of meaningful training. I just kind of expressed the strength that I built over the prep and just enjoyed training for a week before getting back to the regular work, which I have started today. I wanted to take this video just to kind of talk through some of the points that I observed in this competition prep and compare them with my last major competition prep, which was before my state championship last October, which up until that point was my best meet prep. But this one I feel was just much better all around. So right off the bat, my feelings physically are so far beyond where they were after that state championship, as well as just my performance in the competition was far better. So those were both 81 kilo meets for me, where I totaled over 250 kilos. At the state championship, we did 251, so I went 2 for 3 in the snatch, opened at 105, made 110 on my second, and then went for 115 and missed it. And then clean and jerk, I opened at 135, made 141 on my second, and then missed 147 on my third. So 4 for 6 there. And at this last one, I also went 4 for 6. So I opened at 105 again on the snatch. I missed 110 on my second. I made a technical correction on the fly and jumped up 3 kilos and made 113. And I actually feel like the 110 miss allowed me a few extra kilos, because honestly, I think if I would have done the same 105, 110, attempt 115, I probably would have missed it, because my power on the snatch didn't feel great that day. So it worked out, and I think that allowed me to get the most out of my snatch. I think 113 was pretty much what I had on the day. Clean and jerk, I also opened at 135, and then I went 143 on my second to hit the 256 total, which for me is an all-time total PR, regardless of weight class. So before this, my best was 255 at 89 of the state championship 2022. There I did 110, 145. So hitting the all-time total PR on my second clean and jerk, they felt very good. I knew I could have taken 47 and likely made it for the 260. However, 260 doesn't really mean anything for me. I need 267 to qualify for AO finals. So I figured, why not just give it 150 another crack? But I unfortunately missed the clean. I felt good for it, honestly. I just got forward. A little disappointed to miss that one. However, back to the prep. So the biggest difference between these two competition preps was the frequency of the full lifts. So I thought for the state championship, more is better. And I ended up doing snatch 4 times a week and clean and jerk 4 times a week. And that looked like 2 full snatch sessions, 2 variations, 2 full clean and jerk sessions, 2 variations. And they were stacked together. So Monday I snatched and clean and jerked. One would be lighter, one would be heavier. Wednesday I snatched and clean and jerked. The opposite would be heavier and lighter. So I think I typically went heavier on the snatch on Monday and light variation for clean and jerk. Wednesday was light snatch and then heavier clean and jerk. Friday was like moderately heavy for both. And then Saturday was pretty heavy for both. For 8 weeks I did that. And basically all that did was really just run me into the ground. My joints could not handle that level of volume of the full lifts. I still was squatting twice a week and pulling twice a week, heavier pulling. And by the time I got to the competition, my quad tendons were just chronically inflamed. My back was tight. My shoulders were tight. Everything just was not in good shape. Well, the switch that I made in this competition prep was only doing each of them twice a week, and each one on their own. So as we've seen in some of the videos that I've uploaded in the last 8 weeks, I'll snatch on Monday, clean and jerk on Wednesday, snatch on Friday, clean and jerk on Saturday. And it's one variation. That prepared me much better physically. It just did not cause as much damage. And it wasn't necessarily just systematic fatigue. It was actual structural damage that I caused in the state championship prep, which is why it did not improve with the taper. I showed up on competition day still feeling pretty beat up, and that's not ideal. Whereas this one, I showed up on competition day and I felt good and ready to go. And after post-competition at state championship, I was wrecked for the next week. This week, I felt good enough to max out random lifts. As we're seeing in this video, Monday was a pretty normal session, so I actually just did, I think it was 5 singles at 100. You would have seen it on the screen. And then a 5x5 raw back squat at 125, and then squats up to 202, which you just saw there, which was the first time during the last 2 months that I've squatted with a belt and wraps, if I can remember correctly. So we pushed those raw squats up to 200 kilos before the meet, and I kind of just wanted to get a feel for what the regular squat felt like, and hitting 202 in the first session is so far beyond what's normal for me. Typically, after a period of not pushing my absolute maximal squat, the first one is around 185, maybe 190. So 202 out of the gate set me up pretty well for a big squat on Friday, which we'll see later in this video. So yeah, the frequency of the lifts was the biggest thing that I changed during this prep. I kind of worried that it would not necessarily lead to technical degradation. However, it wouldn't allow me to polish things further. But that was one of the things that I focused on throughout the entirety of 2023. So I made a lot of technical improvements, and that allowed me to maintain those changes, those improvements, with the lower frequency. See, the other main change that I had in this prep compared to the last one was an emphasis on running and jumping and just becoming more athletic and getting into better shape. Hold on. That squat right there was 218 kilos or 480 pounds, which was an all-time personal best for me, which super happy to hit. It's literally my first all-time PR back squat with wraps and a belt and everything in a year and a half. So really, really nice to end that week of training. Anyway, so I focused a lot on sprinting and running. I sprinted twice a week and did one run or a bike ride every week for the first 4 weeks. And then I maintained cardio throughout the rest of the prep all the way up until the meet. Whereas two weeks out, I just rode my bike, so it was lower impact. But that allowed me to be in way better shape going into this meet, which also made cutting weight not an issue at all. Whereas for the state championship, I did have to cut a few kilos, and I felt pretty drained on the clean and jerks. Whereas this one, I felt normal, I was strong, and I felt powerful. So, which is why I went for the 150. But that's definitely why I was able to hit an all-time total PR even in the lighter weight class, because I really didn't have to do anything extra to be in that lighter weight class. And that also is very encouraging as I plan to stay 81 going forward, because I am a lot more competitive, and I'm pretty close to that AO Finals qualifying total. And I really would like to hit that by the end of the year. And I'm now hitting, as we saw that squat, I'm my strongest I've ever been while being in this lighter weight class and feeling healthier. And I still have room to improve my body composition. So, yeah, basically this competition prep was my best ever. It wasn't perfect. There were some things that I let go by the wayside within the first few weeks, like additional pulling volume that I could have done. And the deadlift training was a little bit sporadic. The choice of variations wasn't bad, but I think could be improved. But other than that, it gave me a lot of beneficial information about my training for me personally. So I feel moving forward, I'm really set up for a good year of training and competition. And yeah, I'm very happy with how this prep turned out. And I'm going to try and do a competition about every quarter this year. So last year, I also only did 3 competitions in the last 2 months of the year. And it was 3 competitions within 5 weeks, which definitely contributed to me being super beaten up by the end of the year. But yeah, anyways, that was some of my thoughts that I've had about this competition prep, and really excited to continue training. And I'm gonna stick with the 2 times a week for snatch and clean and jerk, as well as 2 times a week for squat and 2 times a week for deadlift. That seems to be kind of a sweet spot for me. I'll definitely play with some stuff since I don't have a weightlifting competition coming up immediately. However, I'm going to be doing a super total in May, and I've never done a max effort super total, and I'm going to. I don't know what I'll be able to do, but I'm going to train as normal. I'm not going to do anything special for it. But that should be pretty fun and a decent expression of strength. But I'm not going to focus on building my strength until then, because I need to get back in that more general phase for some time. However, I don't think that will affect my ability to go for those max effort strength movements. But yeah, anyways, if you've made it this far, I thank you for listening to my ramblings. I'll be back to regular training videos tomorrow, actually. So I recorded today, Monday's training, and I will make a short little video on that one. And yeah, happy to be back to normal in a good spot for training. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.